The new generation of phones might be something like never before. From some varying from the cheapest to one of the most expensive and one of the most powerful and one of the ones with some crazy features which you have never seen ever before. But in all that conviction, many people have different offers and opinions on which kind of a phone they want. So today I'm going to guide you on either you should buy which specific brand and is it the brand for you, and also your personal needs to be specific. So let's dive deep in. And yeah, phones these days are not just an essential, or should I say a way of communication. They are way more, from some of them being used in many movies because their cameras are not advanced, and even some for even hosting gaming tournaments, which is quite contradictional. First of all, some people have two main selections, either Samsung or Apple, but for this one I'm gonna go with Apple. And yes, I went with Apple because of the selective ecosystem. For someone who's starting through with a new brand, or should I say continuing with a new brand, Apple's the best in this section. They have a lot of accessories for everything you shall need. For example, if you're in an iPhone, their phones are pretty much really good, but if you want to advance your ecosystem, you can start small by buying the cheaper versions these days, either a cheaper iPhone or even the cheaper iPad, which is far more versatile because you can use that for many more features and also an Apple Pen or etc. But comparing the ecosystem to the rest of the phone brands, they have the most powerful one because Apple just interacts perfectly. I myself, as an example, I use an Apple Watch, which is quite amazing when exercising, and it tracks your fitness really well. They're also well known for their sleepiness trackers, as Apple puts really a lot of money and time in this kind of investment, or should I say Apple can also be admired for their really good software, because unlike any other brand we shall talk about, they have the most reliable software in ages. First of all, their software support is for about 7 years or above, even on the Pro models. Even their base phones, I remember the iPhone 11 is about to reach 9 years of updates, but it is still updating, and iOS 26 running in really good format on the iPhone 11, but it is still running, which shows how Apple truly gives time and attention every software update, and also the customer services, which are one of the best on earth right now. But that being said, if you don't have the latest iPhones from the 15 and above, you are going to complain on battery life, as the rest of the phones I shall talk about, mainly phone brands, have better battery life health than any other Apple device I shall mention. In justification of that, they have one of the most powerful computing systems on earth, which is the M series chips. Apple is worldly known for the M series chips because they are one of the most powerful used in every research and also convert. And for a normal person who's trying to browse, they did introduce their MacBook Neo lineup, which is quite amazing as well. Compared to other Windows laptops for the price, it is quite powerful. So moving on to the next brand, of Samsung. Samsung didn't make it to the top 1% because of one reason: the ecosystem is not as strong as Apple's. And that being said, it cannot be justified to be compared to Apple because, as I said before, Apple is more strong. Removing that fact out of conclusion, they are literally just the same brand but with a different skin and software. As with the new Android support which is coming out soon, it's gonna have the same glass effect as iOS 27. So that being said, I feel like it's gonna be mainly easier to select which phone you want, because Samsung also has one of the best supporting ecosystem with their Samsung tablets, and also their phones are actually one of the most powerful in terms of multitasking for those who want to browse in different forms, or even, but their phones are also known for really good multitasking or multi-core chip processing, which is quite amazing compared to other phone brands. But for an average person, I don't see them using these features a lot. But yeah, regardless, it does have the same performance as the iPhone, or even slightly slower, because the iPhone is one of the best in terms of single core performance. But I do not have a lot to say about Samsung, as they are mainly about the same as Apple. But moving on, this is when it starts to get contradictional. I had to decide between Google and a new brand, Xiaomi. But reading the books and also coming up with new things, I can truly say that Xiaomi is far more a better alternative compared to Google. First of all, Xiaomi offers one of the best mid-range devices on earth, with their T series dominating in every form, from the camera quality to even the performance, as I can justify this by saying no mid-range phone can literally compete with these phones and performance. So starting at a price point of around £350 to £550, depending on the version which you want about the T series, but also on the flagship 17s and 17 Pros, these phones are actually quite amazing. So they are comparable to the big league, but they are not as powerful as the big league. So the T Pro series do come with the same processor as the S25, but I think a little bit slower because they need to go budget a little bit. Also, the low-end devices, the Redmi phones, are actually quite amazing, because I was surprised one day that I saw a video of benchmarks on Fortnite, and the phone was actually running on a smooth 30 FPS, although you had to lower the frames a little bit and the performance, but you get the point. They make one of the best best overall performing budget phones on earth right now. Going forward, we finally have Google. Google is quite contradictional. Most people like it and most people call it a high quality phone, but because of that Gemini and extra features, I'm gonna make it a tie between Google and Xiaomi. Okay, if you don't care about the ecosystem on a budget, or you just want a really good phone which is far more efficient than other phones at the price point, just go for Xiaomi. If you want something much more flagshipy, or which can compare to the iPhones and Samsung, but not as expensive and not as cheap, but not as well a mid-range device, it's quite weird, I can't lie. But yeah, Google's the phone for you, although the software is not one of the best. So Google users do have an access to update really early, like from big updates like example Android 18 or the new one. It might have many errors because first of all, they'll be testing them on your phones to figure out which errors. Then after they figure them out, they're gonna fix them, which is quite annoying, I cannot lie. And I am not expecting to pay flagship price so that I can lose to a budget mid-range phone for literally way more cheaper and gain way more advantages in terms of performance. So Google mainly is also for people who want camera quality and AI features. That it does not disappoint, as even Apple Intelligence or the new Siri has been upgraded through that Google Gemini, which means Gemini is going to be way more performative and also way more powerful. So yeah, I've wrapped up everything. If you have any questions or you want me to answer any questions in the next video, make sure to leave a comment down below on anything you want to ask. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe as well. God bless.